Hello guys, welcome back to another video. And if you guys clicked on this video, that means you're either new to Paladins or you've never heard of it, and that is okay. This is the first video in a three-part series, and I'm going to be teaching you the basics of Paladins and what you need to know. I also have other videos in a playlist that will teach you about certain legends. With that being said, let's get right into things. So, Paladins is a 5v5 team game, and there is over 40 legends that you can play. Each of these legends is unique with its own abilities and talents. I will get into those in another video. And each of these champions falls into 4 subcategories, these being damage, flank, frontline, or support. And there are 3 main game modes, being TDM, Team Deathmatch, Onslaught, and Siege. Siege is also the ranked game mode, and that is the most popular and like the face of the game. So with that being said, let's explain each of the 4 roles I previously mentioned. So, like I mentioned, the 4 roles are damage, flank, frontline, and support, and each of these roles excel in different places and are all very, very important to a team composition. Now, first off, let's get into the damage champions. Their job is to pour out as much damage as possible. Their targets are usually the tanks and the other team's damage. Really, anyone they can shoot, they're going to try and do damage to. Uh, to build off this, they usually stick next to the support legend to protect them from enemy flankers, as well as to just be in a good line of sight to help their teammates out in dire situations. The next category is the flanks. Now, the flanks have a very interesting role because they have the most mobility in the game, but they also are the weakest health-wise. They can do a lot of damage very fast, but they can also be killed very fast. They have the most mobility, and their job is to target the other team's healers, aka the support legend, and then go after the damage and get them out of the way. The third one we are going to be going over is the front line. Now, the front lines are like your tanks, your big, bulky, strong legends, and their job is to sit on the point. I will explain the point later when we get into the siege section, but they have a lot of health, usually have shields, and their job is to sit there and soak up the damage. They do have weapons, and their weapons usually do a decent amount of damage per hit, but they are slow firing, which is a trade-off. They are key to every single team composition. Finally is the supports. Now, the supports' job is to keep the rest of the team alive. They have usually as much health as a damage, so like in that medium health pool range. Their weapons are okay. They don't do a crazy amount of damage. They're mainly just to defend themselves, but against any flanker in a 1v1, usually they don't stand much of a chance. So that's why you need your damage champion right there to help them out in case they get flanked. But really, the support's job is just to heal. They need to be keeping their team alive, and a good support will change the game. You can be worse mechanically, but if your support is better than the other team's support, I guarantee you will win that game. Now that you know what each legend does, let's get into the different game modes. Now, the first game mode isn't really that popular. It's just a quick warm-up game mode, at least that's how I see it. It is TDM, or Team Deathmatch. And this game is 5v5, just like all the other game modes. And the goal is to kill the other team faster than they kill you. The game ends in 2 different ways. The first way the game can end is by the 10-minute timer, the 10-minute match timer expires without each team reaching the second way to win, which is 40 kills. Usually the game ends with 40 kills. I've only had a few matches here and there that end with the time limit, but really their goal is to kill the enemy team before they reach 40, and your goal is to try and get to 40 kills. So the next game mode, before we get to the main game mode, Siege, this one is called Onslaught, and Onslaught is like a hybrid between Team Deathmatch and Siege. So it has the point system function that Siege does, but it's more TDM, more about fighting and killing and just controlling the point. So basically, there's two different versions of Onslaught. One where it's a point and your job is to control the point. If you're the only team on the point, you're going to be gaining points. Now, the first one is the point stays the same, it's in the center, and you just fight over that point. And the second version is where the point will move periodically around the map. This is another good warm-up game. It is good to try out new legends you haven't played before. Overall, it can be fun, but my favorite, and probably most of the people's favorite, is the next one we're going to get into, which is Siege. Alright guys, buckle up, because we are going to be getting into Siege, the most complex, most fun, biggest part of this game. So Siege is played to the first to 4. Now, you might be wondering, how did you get these points? I'm going to be going over them. So the objective of the game is to capture the center point, which will score you 1 point. There is 2 different bars, one for each team, that go up to 100%. Once you get to 100%, you capture the point. Now, if you're the only team on the point, you will be capturing. If the opposing team's the only team on the point, they will be capturing. And if both teams are on the point, nothing will be happening. Neither team's bars will be going up. Now, once your team captures the payload, or the point, it will spawn the payload. And the payload is a little cart with a circle around it, and you're trying to push that to the enemy team's base. The way you push the payload is having one of the attacking champions in the circle surrounding the payload without having any of the enemy teams in that circle. If there is an enemy in that circle and an attacker in the circle, then the cart will stand still and stop until either the defender dies, the cart starts moving forward, but if the attacker dies, the cart will slowly begin moving back. It is important to note, for the cart to be moving back, there doesn't have to be a defending champion touching it, whereas to move it forward, an attacking champion has to be touching it. Now, say that the attackers are able to get it all the way to the defender's base. There will be a circle on the ground, and once the cart rolls all the way over that, it will score another point. You have 2 minutes to do this. Now, here's the thing. There is a little something called overtime. And the way this works is after the 2 minutes expire that you're doing the push, if you still have an attacker in the circle, overtime will start. And overtime will end once there is not an attacker in that tiny circle for a certain amount of time. But as long as there's an attacker in that circle, that round will continue. Now, if the defenders are able to stop the attackers, the defenders will also get a point. It is important to note, though, to win the game, you have to either score the winning point on the center point or by converting an attack. To put this into perspective, say your team is winning 3-1. The attacking team had just got the center point and they are pushing towards your base. You are able to hold them off for 2 minutes and you kill the overtime, so you should get a point for defending, right? But you don't. Since you are already at 3 points, you will not get the 4th point it takes to win. You have to win the center point to win this game. Now, that is all dandy, and you should understand how it works. The last thing I'm going to be going over is called the comeback mechanic. Now, the comeback mechanic is very important in this game, and you need to understand it. It is fairly simple, but a lot of people don't realize it's a thing, so that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. When a team is down by 2 points, be it 2-0, 3-1, the team that is down by 2 has the comeback mechanic. When you are standing on the point, you gain percentage at 3% per second. Now, if the comeback mechanic is active, the team down by the 2 points, instead of 3%, will gain 4% a second. This might not seem like a lot, but it is significant, and they will capture the point a lot faster than the other team. Now that we have that out of the way, you understand Siege, you are ready to go play, but if you're interested in Ranked, stick around, because I'm going to be telling you the tiny differences in Ranked compared to casual Siege. So, Ranked follows all of the rules as regular Siege once you get into the game. The difference is before the game. In casuals, whether it be TDM, Onslaught, or siege, you can choose whatever legend you want to play, and as long as there is not someone hasn't already chosen that legend on your team, you can play it. This is a little different with ranked. The way a ranked game starts is each team has the opportunity to ban 2 legends. Now, what happens is if a legend is banned, they cannot be played at all by either team for the whole match. Now, on top of this, the team that banned first gets the first pick. So say they choose whatever champion they want. Let's just say they choose Victor. So Team 1 chose Victor, they have Victor. That means Team 2 cannot choose Victor. And the way it works is whoever banned first drafts 1, other team goes 2, 2, 1. So now each team has 3. Once it gets to this point, each team gets the opportunity to ban 1 more legend, and once that is done, they finish up their draft. Once that the draft is finished, you will load into a game, and it will proceed like any other siege match. If you win, you'll gain points to go up a rank. If you lose, you will obviously lose points, as any ranked system works. And with that being said, that wraps up the video. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot when you watch all the videos. If you guys want more guides like this, stay tuned, because I'm going to be coming out with a talents, abilities, and loadouts video. And I'm also going to be coming out with a video that goes over the items in the game. If you want specific legend how-to videos, click the playlist, go watch those videos. The newer the better, honestly. They're all pretty good though. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all in the realm.